curious, does anyone know in terms of voices, what are the high voices? What are the higher voices? This particular language that we use. Does anyone know? Oh gosh, am I boring you guys? Because you're not saying anything. Does anyone know?
Does anybody have a guess? Can anyone guess?
Go ahead, Maya.
Is it like soprano?
Soprano. Has anyone ever heard of that? Have you heard of soprano? Yes. Did you say no, Matthew? I'm going to put this. Do you guys have access to the chat? Like if I write things in the chat, are you cool? Awesomeness. So I'm going to put something in the chat and I'm just going to spell it out. It'd be great if you could also write it out. I don't know if you save chats or if you actually write it out. So soprano is one of the higher voices. And most people tend to think that that can be a female voice, even though in older times, there were young men, young boys who could also sing in a soprano voice. What's another higher voice? And you know what? I'm going to say go on and use your internet, because that's what I would do too. Look up what are the voice parts. And if you type in soprano and voice parts, the other ones will come in as well. I'll give you like 1 minute to do that. Voice parts and soprano, and then it should tell you what the other ones are. 60, 59. Oh, go ahead, Dion. What's another one?
Bass.
Bass is another one. And I'll tell you where that goes. Awesomeness. Ding, ding, ding. Dion for the win. 2 more. Uh-oh, somebody left. 2 more. Go ahead, Maya.
Tenor.
Tenor. And I need 1 more, and I want to hear from somebody who has not spoken as yet. I still don't think Gabrielle spoke. Soprano, bass, tenor. There's one missing, and it's the one that I sing. And there are certain... Who?
Contralto.
Contralto. So there's a slight difference. We're just going to use alto, which has a contralto is in front of it. Alto. Write these things down. These are the 4 voice parts. And I'm going to tell you that when we talk about clefs, let's bring it back to the original conversation. How do I spell clef? Somebody tell me how to spell clef. I want to get a new hand. I so badly want to ask you, Maya. I so badly want to ask you, Dion. But can I get someone else to tell me how to spell clef? Juliet, how do I spell clef?
Clef or clef?
Excellent. Thank you for asking. Clef. F. Clef. It starts the same as cliff.
C-L-I-F.
Yep.
Or E-F.
Say that one more time. It's the last one. Say it again. C-L.
C-L-F-F.
So it's just C-L-E-F. I'm writing this in the chat. So if you're actively taking notes, I'm expecting that you're actively taking notes. And we're going to break those clefs down because there are multiple clefs. But I'm only going to talk about 2 of them today. But I already said them. What 2 clefs did I say today? Who was listening?
Bass clef and treble clef.
Bass and treble clef. So I talked about treble clef and bass clef. And that was the whole thing that got me into talking about soprano. And I'm going to say them in the order from highest to lowest. Soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. Right? So for treble clef, I'm going to say, I'm